Rishi Sunak to announce new laws.
So this is Chris Heaton Harris, and he's talking to Laura Kuenssberg,
Now, the idea is to deport anyone
and
who
she's
arrives
discussing now the new plan of Rishi Sunak
here in this country.
to deport anybody, to make sure that anybody who comes here will not be able to claim asylum if they come illegally, through an illegal channel.
So what's the point of new laws?
Actually, I've yet to see the new law, and I don't think anybody else has, apart from the Home Secretary and the Prime Minister, and maybe a handful of civil servants around it. So I don't think we can authoritatively say that they're exactly the same
Rishi Sunak
as
talked to
laws.
Mail on Sunday about the laws. We've got a pretty good idea.
But we've got to have, we need a full range of things in our arsenal to try and stop the both people trafficking and illegal migration across the channel. That involves proper conversations that are ongoing with our French counterparts and indeed our other European counterparts.
Indeed, to make up for the lack of Dublin 3. If you go back to 2010 or something, we were deporting, we were sending back about 10,000 migrants every year who'd come here fraudulently. We can't do that now, because Dublin 3 has gone.
But can I read you what the team of Priti Patel, the former Home Secretary, she brought in lots of new laws to try and
well, she's going to defend herself. She's going to say it's not worth it.
Called this plan window dressing.
Yep, window dressing.
Up what they will do. They haven't come up with anything remotely new. Now, if Priti Patel thinks you already have the laws that you need, what's the point in new legislation? Doesn't it look like you're trying to give the impression of tackling?
Well, the new legislation is to put back in place something like Dublin 3.
I think my constituents would say we obviously don't have the laws that we need to tackle this problem, because this problem is still ongoing. So there is but it's only part of what needs to be done. And we all know as politicians that we need to reflect on public opinion and actually answer some of these questions, and stopping the boats coming across the English Channel is a very big part in the British.
No, it's about not having negotiated Brexit correctly.
It is very high on people's agenda.
It certainly is, but that's exactly why, is it not, that what the government is proposing is actually something that you can be sure would have a practical effect.
Yeah, and that's what the government would like to think will happen.
So I want to show people what's happened in the last few years. So we've seen the Home Office time after time tighten up the laws under Priti Patel. She believed was the right thing to do, and many people agreed with her. But if you look at what actually happened, and I think we can show our viewers a graph that hopefully will magically appear. Back in 2010,
yes,
when the Conservatives came to power, more than 10,000 asylum seekers were being returned.
Because of Dublin 3.
During which the law has been tightened up. What has happened?
The law has been tightened up because we don't have control, because we surrendered control.
Public concern. But this suggests that tightening the law is not actually going to have any...
The laws which are being made are absurd laws. Those are the Priti Patel laws. They don't work. They cannot work because they're wrong.
And equally, when we announced the Rwanda scheme, it was challenged immediately, as
of course.
You reported on it, and that was found in the UK High Court to be a legal scheme. But we need to put this all together, because
I'm afraid, Chris, you're wrong there.
Will be upset with what they see on that graph. And
it may have been found to be a legal scheme. It's an immoral scheme.
We accept a huge amount of migration into this country, and we like it because it is really good for our localities, our economy, and just social fabric.
Thank you.
In general. The one thing in my constituency that upset that balance slightly is numbers of people coming illegally to this country.
But this is about what you do if people arrive. Now, you mentioned the Rwanda scheme there. Even if it does get up and running, as the government hopes it will do, it's not projected to take any more than a few hundred people. The only other deal that the UK has is with Albania. Now, Rishi Sunak's proposal would involve detaining tens of thousands of people. Where are they all going to go? How are you going to...
Good question.
Proposing that you send
this is why it needs to be, it is part of a whole range of things, a whole gambit of things to try and both keep people in home country, or as close to home country as we possibly can, to try and make sure that they are looked after in the first free country that they might come to, try and stop illegal people trafficking, which is a huge part in this, and crack down on that, legislation at home to return people who come here illegally. There's a whole range of things.
But where are you proposing that people go if they arrive here?
Well, hopefully we'll get to the point when people arrive here, they're arriving legally, and then they don't come.
But where should they?
Then they need to be processed by the Home Office. It needs to do its job.
A practical proposal for the many thousands of people who have been arriving here in the UK.
No, so I'm not accepting your premise, because I don't think there'll be tens of thousands of people coming if we get this right. Certainly illegally. I mean, we're accepting huge numbers of people legally to come to the United Kingdom.
But unfortunately, Chris, you're not dealing with them properly.
This complete plan.
We still have Afghans 2 years on who still haven't been settled, who are still stuck in hotels. We need to stop there.
We've seen it again.